All right, welcome to Talking Shop. We're back at it. We have the whole group together again. It's been a while. So let's have everyone here. We're looking at Matthew chapter 14, 22 through 33. Jesus walking on water. Do you get in the boat? Do you stay out? What do you do? Which is the best way to go? We're going to talk through all that and really focus on this the struggle. Maybe the big question: why do you doubt? What is the crux of that for our hearers? And so take some time to share this with friends and family. Even people you don't like and subscribe, and let's get after it.
Spit out my Lord in every way, yet I'm still welcome in the yard.
All right, Matthew chapter 14, 22 through 33, Jesus walking on water. So immediately, he made, so this is right after feeding the 5,000. He made the disciples get into a boat. He kicks them out. That's what he does.
Well, that's what he
Give
was.
me some space.
That's what he was trying to do earlier.
That makes sense, yeah.
So this time he's like, we're not messing around. We're gonna get out of here.
He had already left everyone. The crowd was there. He has compassion on them.
It goes all the way back to verse 13 of chapter 14 where he
Yeah,
tried
because
to get
the death of the Baptist.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So now he's finally done. I'm going to get some time to myself. He dismisses the crowds. He sends his disciples away. And after he dismissed the crowds, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. So there you go.
Yeah.
He finally got his time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's human, 100%.
It's true, yes. But what's happening to that good old boat?
The wind is against it,
Yeah.
and it's not a motorboat.
It's how we would describe a lot of our churches.
I was about to say that's not nice, but
That's fair.
Reality.
I mean, it's not nice, but it's
yeah. The boat was beaten by the wave, for the wind was against them, right? And in the fourth watch of the night, when's that?
That's the last one. It's getting towards dawn.
Yeah, it's getting towards
So it
dawn.
was dark.
Yeah. Zero dark 30.
Yeah.
Yeah. So getting closer to dawn, but not quite yet. Man, you could play that up in a sermon. I mean, I never have with this text. Just like that notion of like expecting the sun to rise, the dawning of the day, and who comes walking out to you? But the Son of Man. I mean, that's kind of cool.
In the dead of night.
In the dead of night.
Yeah, he's so
Well, like they always have that saying, it's darkest before the dawn. So.
Yeah.
Oh, all that. This
Not
is
even
good.
water is going to get in his way.
Yeah, it's,
Whoa.
Yeah.
Take
Sure.
note,
Relax.
people. This
Yeah,
is
take some notes.
We had a nice little riff there.
So he comes to them walking on the sea. And I love that it just, I don't know what you would expect, but the text just says it like it's no big deal.
Yeah.
And he came to them walking on the sea.
Yeah, and this is different. This is good actually because it appears in this text. Mark, I think Mark gets the note that he meant to pass by them, but they saw him.
Yeah.
Here he's seen them struggling out on the sea, and he's
comes
actually
to them.
going to help
Right.
them. He goes toward them.
So he comes to them. Yeah, that's good. Good point. Yeah, he's coming to them in their trouble on the sea. He's walking out there. The disciples see him, and what's their reaction?
It's a ghost.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah. They're afraid.
Yeah.
Again, makes total sense.
Yeah.
Right.
That you'd be afraid. But immediately Jesus says to them, and what are his words of encouragement?
Take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid.
Yeah. Or as we noticed in the Greek, ego eimi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is kind of that, everyone I'm sure knows this already, right? It's it would be like this Septuagint rendering, I guess,
Yeah, there you
of
go.
Yahweh, right?
I am,
The I am.
Tetragrammaton.
And John's gospel becomes a big deal with all the I am statements.
Yep.
But here again, take heart, however you're translating that first kind of word of encouragement to them, and then the statement is loaded. Maybe that's what we'd say. It's freighted with a lot. It is I am he, I am being.
Right.
I don't know what you
right.
want to do.
I will be what I will be.
All that kind of stuff. This is the language of God speaking to Moses from the burning bush.
Yes.
Exactly.
That language.
Yes. And
right on the heels of that, don't be afraid.
Do not fear.
If there's ever a reason to not be afraid, it's that first part. He is God.
Right.
He is Yahweh.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's with you.
Yeah. He is the one who hushes the waves, if you will. That's not in this because that's the calming of the storm. But yeah.
So then we get to good old Pete, right? And Peter says, Lord, if it is you, right? He's worked out his own little test here.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of arbitrary.
Yeah, command me to come to you. It is kind of arbitrary. Come to you on the waters. So, there's a lot you could do here.
What's he?
You kind of
Where'd he
play
come
with
up with that?
the psychology of
Yeah.
Peter. I mean, I don't know if you want to do that.
You can go both ways. So I've run it one way, going to the end of sometimes you're just supposed to stay in the boat.
Yep.
But I've also heard sermons, and I think they're right too. Of he sees his master doing this. Jesus says, "Greater things than this you will see," and so he's like, "I'm going to follow in your footsteps. If you can walk on water." And you're expecting me to follow in your footsteps, then I'm supposed to walk on water too.
Okay.
So I think you can play it both ways. Again, exegetically, there's probably one that's more correct than the other, but homiletically,
Right.
you can work it either way.
So,
So
like we were saying earlier, it's dusk or it's dusk right before dawn, and so like it's super dark. What if he was just like, "Is that really you? If it's you, let me know. I'm gonna come over." Like kind of situation. So
let me know this is more than a vision.
I think what's fascinating about it is he doesn't just hop out of the boat.
No.
Like he does say, "Command me to come."
Sure,
to you. Like,
sure.
Speak the word to me.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Jesus does.
Tell me I can do this.
Yeah. He says, "Come." Right.
Yeah.
Commands him to come. And Peter gets out of the boat, walks on the water.
Yeah.
Right. And comes to Jesus. Then you get the big bite.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What happens to good old Pete?
He saw the wind.
That's weird.
It is weird.
He took his fix. His eyes were fixed
Yeah.
on Christ,
Right.
the author and perfecter of our faith, but he took the eyes off and onto circumstances such as, in this case, the wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He saw the
And
wind.
and as soon as he does that, he begins to sink. It was interesting when we were looking at it, translating it. I don't know. I always in my head had this image of he like slowly starts to go down.
Yeah.
You know, like but it kind of sounds like it literally says he begins to drown.
Yeah.
So it's like as soon as he gets concerned about the wind and not I guess our Lord, or he has doubts is what it is. That's what the issue.
Yeah.
He just boom. He's
Yeah.
now he's drowning.
Yeah.
He's fighting to stay above the water.
Right.
Like that's an immediate thing.
Which you would. I mean, for anybody, we've all done it as kids. It's the walk on water, right, where you just walk off the edge and into the pool. Mm-hmm. I mean, you do. You go down. It's
down.
immediate.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not like you slowly start to fall.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And his cry is everything. Lord, save me.
Yeah.
I mean, if nothing else, that is where you can anchor this sermon.
Anchor, good word.
Yeah. That in every aspect, this is a Lord who saves. He comes to them in the middle, in night on the sea, in the troubled sea. He's intentional about there. And now with Peter, he's not going to leave Peter to drown. I mean, he's out there doing this. And Peter cries out, "Lord, save me."
Now, am I going too far out on the plank, your diving board, and your
Wow.
if I were to say, we got a picture of the simile going on here. He's got faith. He wants to be commanded. He takes him on his word. Descends, goes on the water. Then, simultaneously, while he was performing it, now he's in the next instant going down under it.
Sure. And again, going back to which way you're going to preach it in the sermon, if you're going to focus on this, if you focus on the, I'm supposed to do this because I'm following my master, then it's the command from Jesus is come, let's do this together.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you could go to the other side of Peter wants to do this. He wants to take that leap of faith, if you will, and Jesus says come, knowing there's failure ahead and waiting for him there. So
and he was waiting with the rebuke too.
Yeah. So you could there's both sides of it.
Yeah.
No matter which way you go, and you could add both.
Yeah, I do think it's it feels like it's a mistake to kind of preach it as solely kind of like the heroics of Peter.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like you said, like even there, like Christ, he knows right that this is not going to work out well for Peter.
Yeah.
And it's a lesson for everybody. But the lesson doesn't necessarily have to be then stay in the boat.
Right.
Right. The lesson is still, I think, that you heed your master, and he actually will not let you drown.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But maybe at times it means you just stay in the boat.
Yeah.
Right?
Or if you do
That's
drown,
a good thing.
if you do drown, he'll raise you from the dead.
Yeah.
Oh, you of little faith, stay in the faithful place. You might say.
I mean, it goes back to that leap of faith thing. But like sometimes when you take a leap of faith, there's gonna be pitfalls in it, right? There's not always.
Sure.
It's not always gonna pan out just because I'm taking a leap of faith. It has to work out.
Yeah.
You know? It's gonna have a little thing, and then you get afraid of some things. Things attack you.
It's interesting. Like we could probably all think of examples of this in the church where, like for some reason when you mentioned, I thought of like church budgets, because you always hear this conversation about like you got X amount of dollars, you got this, and there's always people like, well, just trust the Lord will provide, and it's like, well, but we still like it's not being ridiculous, right? And so there's like you kind of like because there is this sense in which you're like, we don't know what's coming in.
Maybe I'll just keep one hand on the boat.
And then you're just kind of like trusting that it's going to happen.
Maybe that's maybe that's the saw the wind. Because the wind is something that's unseeable.
Right.
And yet Peter is personifying that's the danger. That which he is really not against him, or that which is not going to thwart him, is what he's focusing on.
Interesting.
Whereas Jesus, who is right there in front of him, he's not looking at. He's not seeing that which is seeable, and yet he's seeing those things that are not.
Well, just going deep diving into that even further. So, like he said, he saw the wind, right? But we clearly know that you can't see the wind, but you could feel the wind. So when you feel the wind, you're feeling the dangers of the pitfalls in your leap of faith with the budget or whatever the case. And because you feel something doesn't mean it's happening, because it's not visually happening. Just like you're saying. But that's right. You're taking your eyes off of what is before you when you should really, not let what you feel interrupt what you actually see before you.
And I think you could camp out a little bit on that little red letter section, what Jesus says, you have little faith, and the probing question, why did you doubt? You can come up with a sermon outline like right there.
Absolutely.
What are reasons why people today doubt so much?
So Jesus, he lets Peter struggle it says he immediately reaches out his hand, takes a hold of him, right? And says that great line there. I think you're right. You have little faith. Why did you doubt? Like what is that? I think you're right. I think that could be a very unique way to preach this text. Actually, like that could even be like a theme. Like why do you doubt? What are the causes of that? And the remedies, I mean, are kind of simple, right? The means of grace, Christ before you, right? But the doubts are not going to go away. So this goes back to like your simul discussion, right? Like this is who you are. You are at the same time saint and sinner, and these things remain, right? So let's not pretend like it's not going to happen, right?
I mean, maybe you can work it into a sermon, but the question for you is in those doubts and in working through those, did Pete ever try to step on the water again? Am I still doubting? Are the doubts still there?
Let me try again.
Well, when he saw Jesus on the shore cooking fish, he swam.
That's true. That's true. He didn't go running across the waves. That's true.
Well, I mean, that's true. That's so true. But like in that moment where he reaches out to Jesus, is Jesus just going to carry him right into the boat, or did Jesus pull him back up above the water and then they went into the boat?
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, it says he took a hold of him. Yeah, and then it says then they get into but they go up into the boat.
Right.
Yeah.
The wind ceases right when they get in the boat.
Yep.
And those in the boat worshipped him, and a great confession of faith.
Yeah, right.
Truly, you are the Son of God.
Nice.
So, I mean, you think about it, John the Baptist has been beheaded. You get the feeding of the 5,000. Right on the tails of that, you get Jesus walking on water, pulling Peter up. The wind stops, and they're just like, man, this is it. Right here he is. More challenges to come. But yeah, a lot. I think those words for our Lord and the cry of Peter, Lord, save me. There's a lot of good stuff here. A lot of things.
And that confession, remember that in 2 chapters when Peter makes that same confession coming right up.
Yeah.
He'll echo it.
All right. We'll take a minute to like and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. Share your thoughts on this text. Once again, a kind of familiar one. Sometimes it's challenging to find unique ways to preach it, but share what you might do or what you have done. And God bless your preaching.